I'm going to actually relax a little bit on this one right here because it's going to be ugly. It's literally, truly going to be ugly. Now, Bill Clinton all but cannot even surgically remove his foot out of his mouth for the statements that he made concerning the Black Lives Matter movement. And people have to understand, when you're a public figure, if you say something even remotely wrong, with 7.5 billion people on the face of planet Earth, there's always a 99.9% chance that you're going to be misinterpreted. And no matter what you say, you still are not going to be able to recover from it. But when people open up their mouth, the one thing I've learned, they're speaking from their heart. Do they know all their heart? No, because the heart is evil and is desperately wicked. And that's just the truth. But when you start in this country calling young black men predators, all right? When you start calling them predators and you start referring to them as some type of animals or whatever you call it, and then the first thing you do is start touting somebody who's hyped up on cocaine and drugs. First of all, number one, it's going to get ugly. I'm going to explain to you the truth. Black people are not responsible for flying in cocaine into this country. Cocaine mostly comes into this country through the military, through C-130s. Black people don't have the money nor the clout, and they are not the ones who are putting drugs, heroin, cocaine, crack, and all this stuff on the streets. That comes by rich white people who are politicians. They are putting this stuff on the street. And they concentrate this stuff in certain areas. And then for Bill Clinton to get on there and act like he innocent, talking about hyped up on cocaine, I wonder how many lines he done. Oh, mercy. Yeah, I tell you. And see, this is the disproportionate injustice that continue to keep going on in this country because, see, he's right. When people try to loud talk you, when people start name calling, it's because they're afraid of the truth. And you're right, Bill Clinton, you're afraid of the truth. World, you are afraid of the truth. And Fox News makes no apologies, so the first thing you do is start talking about fatherless homes. And it's amazing. Now, I'm going to give you some statistics, okay? I'll be pretty close, within 10%, but I want you to listen to me real close. Blacks in this country consist of, listen to me real closely, 10% of the population. At most, maybe 12%. Whites in this country consist of well over 70% of the population in this country. So you're telling me about all these homes and all these people are jacked up because of all these people having babies and there's no fathers in the home. And let's say that's probably true for 80% or 70% of the black families in the world today, or people who are having children out of what you call wedlock. Then if you go 84% or 70% of whites, then guess what? That means on a grand scale, to the tune of over 400% more, that whites are having more illegitimate, that's what you call them, children, more bastard children than blacks could ever do in this country, being that whites are 70% of the population and blacks are 10% of the population. You see, again, folks, everything that they do when they move their lips, it's all having to do with some type of racism to get you to respond out of feelings and emotions. And you know what? If you can use the race card and you can keep people divided. Now, mind you, I'm not with this racism stuff because the Bible doesn't talk about racism. It talks about nationalities. People were defined based on their nationalities. In the 1600s, there was this German philosopher called Johann Blumenbach who actually started classifying people as Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid. And ever since then, so one race believed that they're superior to another because you go after his definition rather than one nationality is superior than another according to what the Bible says, and it ain't the Ashkenazi, Gentile, Goyim, so-called people who are calling themselves Jews who would quickly tell you that they're Israelis. They ain't it. And I understand that I run the risk of actually being misrepresented and talked about even in this video, but I'm stating to you facts straight up. And so then when the drugs get on this street right here, I mean, for instance, all right, I'll give you some more statistics, okay? I live in a county that is 99.9% white, 1% black. You imagine how much racism we have with us, discrimination? I didn't say everybody does it. It's just a few. Like I said, I'll say it again. You don't see people who have homes, real nice homes, driving very nice vehicles, flying Confederate flags. Like I said, I need to go around and show you who's doing this. I need to show you who's actually flying these flags. You'll see it on what you'll call trailer trash. And when I mean trailer trash, I mean exactly what I said, trailer trash. These people out here don't even want to take their trash to the dumpster. They'll pile up their trash 5 feet high in the backyard and just hoping that a storm or something will take it away one day. But they're the ones that got Confederate flags in the windows. They got Confederate flags on the back of these raggedy trucks. Like I said, you don't see that stuff on good-looking vehicles. You don't see it. Them are your racists, the dumb, stupid, ignorant people. They're the dum-dums. They're the ignorants. And don't get me wrong, that there are racists today that are wearing suit and ties. Like I said, the Ku Klux Klan done traded his sheets for suits and ties. I'm under no illusion whatsoever at all. But you know how many people we have in jail up here for committing a crime in this county? And mind you, 0. Do you all know how many whites occupy the jails up here for some type of crime? They kill each other up here. They murder. They always on drugs, meth, and all kinds of stuff. And man, they do some crazy stuff. They hang themselves up here. They do all kinds of stuff up here in this county. And you don't see us in the newspaper. If you do see blacks in the newspaper, it's just having to be somebody who comes from outside of the county into this county that's doing all that evil, and then they get locked up. But it ain't us, because the majority of blacks in this county actually live right here on this land. And there's really not too many. So we're not the ones that are occupying the jails. You see, the demographics, and no matter what you do, and no matter where you go, it all depends. I mean, these people, crack, drugs, marijuana, meth, and they make up stuff to blow up in their heads and brains. I mean, it's just utterly amazing, the insanity that goes on. Oh, boy. But beginning to see what I'm saying? It's statistically impossible. It's statistically impossible. That's like I had the other day, after I made, matter of fact, this morning, after I got finished making this video, I checked my email, and immediately I had a guy who defined for me that he's white, and he immediately jumped on, and the first thing he starts doing is start throwing around what you call the N-word. And I said, isn't that something? I said, that's something. And apparently you didn't listen to my video. I said, we are becoming, that's the word I use, like the people who put us in 400 years of chattel slavery, who raped, robbed, murder, and pillaged. The whites did. The Europeans did in this country. The indigenous people of this land called the Indians. Killed them, murdered them all, and then the ones that did survive, they put them on reservations and honked them up on booze. And then they throw a few little bones here by giving them casinos to operate. Maybe a few of them own. Then they all forget who they were. But my people in this country, we've been in slavery by the people who are still running this country, their descendants. We've been lynched, we've been raped, we've been robbed. And what I said, and you go back and look to it again, I said that the blacks in this country are slowly becoming. That means we are becoming like the very people who have enslaved us. And if we don't do something about our situation, we got another 100 years of suffering to go. That's just the truth. Now, that's brutally, and that's honest. And go check it out and see if I'm speaking the truth. Because, you know, there ain't no such thing as the color of truth. Because truth is just flat out truth. And it's just actual and factual and truthful. And that's just the truth. But I tell you what, we got a fight on our hands today. Boy, do we got a real true fight on our hands today. Because in this information war, in this war of words that we find ourselves in today, people are finding a very hard time to even understand what you're saying. And people are so deceitful and deceptive. Like I said, I can't stand liars and hate. I can't. No. Oh boy. Anyway, I hope I said something to bring some education to some of you. Have a good day.